Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we dive in, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Hello, XRP Army, and welcome back to the Crypto Republic, your go-to channel for the latest high-energy updates in digital assets. Today, we have a story that could redefine institutional involvement in crypto. The XRP ETF launch on NASDAQ now has a confirmed date just 12 days away. On November 13, 2025, older investors and retirement accounts will finally have a regulated way to buy XRP. This is huge. Billions of dollars from 401ks, IRAs, and other retirement portfolios could flow directly into XRP, giving everyday people a way to access digital assets without navigating an exchange. Institutions are also poised to participate. BlackRock, JP Morgan, and other major players are circling the XRP ledger. They've attended the Ripple swell, studied XRP settlement utility, and are preparing to deploy billions in regulated exposure. Before we get to today's business, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. We bring you updates every day at 9 a.m., noon, and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why this ETF matters? For decades, cryptocurrencies existed on the fringe of Wall Street, exciting to some, risky to others. ETFs changed the game. They provide a regulated, accessible way for both retail and institutional investors to gain exposure without touching an exchange. This is especially important for older investors and retirement accounts. For the first time, billions in dormant retirement funds can move into XRP. This isn't speculation. This is structured, regulated capital moving on in. Think of it like the dawn of the internet in the 1990s. Microsoft and Cisco weren't just selling products. They were creating the backbone of a revolution. XRP is playing that role today. With ETFs live in about 12 days, we're about to see billions of dollars from retirement accounts and institutions flow in. This is going to create a supply-demand dynamic unlike the crypto market has ever seen. On the CME alone, open interest in XRP and Solana futures totals around $3 billion. That's capital waiting on the sidelines, ready to move once a regulated vehicle exists. Canary Capital CEO of one ETF filing projects $5 billion on day one. Bitwise is also launching in November, and filings from Grayscale, Franklin Templeton, and nearly a dozen other institutions suggest multiple ETFs could hit the market almost simultaneously. Imagine the Florida land boom of the 90s. Money poured in, prices soared, and early entrants reaped massive gains. Here, the land is XRP, and with retirement money and institutional inflows arriving together, the potential supply shock could be historic. ETF mechanics and launch strategies. How will this actually play out? Institutions generally don't buy the underlying asset months in advance. Acquisitions happen the day of or just before launch, avoiding manipulation and ensuring SEC compliance. ETFs create controlled demand spikes, backed by billions in capital. With 5, 6, or even 8 ETFs potentially launching within days, pressure on XRP's available supply could be enormous. Think of a crowded subway at rush hour. The doors open. Everyone pushes to get out and on, and a surge of movement happens. That's what we could see in XRP's order book when retirement accounts and institutional inflows hit simultaneously. NASDAQ and NYSE listings filings indicate XRP ETFs will trade on NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange by the end of November. Bitwise updated its filing to include a 0.34% fee and New York Stock Exchange listing, typically the last step before SEC approval. This dual listing ensures maximum liquidity and access, allowing both retail investors and retirement accounts to participate seamlessly. Think of it like opening 2 floodgates instead of 1. More participants, more capital, amplified supply squeeze. Supply shock and price implications. With billions ready to enter through ETFs, available supply and exchanges could tighten dramatically. Even $5 billion deployed could remove roughly 2 to 2.5 billion XRP from circulation. Looking at this from a historical analogy, gold rushes of the 19th century, limited supply plus surging demand drove exponential gains. XRP isn't a commodity, but the principles are similar. Limited supply, surging demand, and institutional participation. Upward price pressure is inevitable. Unlike tulip mania, ETFs provide structure, reducing irrational volatility. Market sentiment and analyst projections. Analysts, including Bloomberg's Eric Benillis, noted unprecedented institutional interest in XRP. Firms like Canary Capital and Bitwise agree. There's no other crypto with this scale of latent demand. When ETF go live, American exchanges could see massive inflows, generating both price momentum and awareness. History shows that early adopters in such regulated rollouts often gain disappropriated advantages. So looking at this from the global macro content, digital euro and XRP ledger, it's not just the US making headlines. The European Central Bank confirmed the digital euro is moving forward with pilot programs in 2026 and a full rollout by 2020. The XRP ledger and related blockchain technologies are being considered for digital euro infrastructure. Europe's distributed ledger pilot regime aims to integrate central bank digital currencies with secure settlement layers. XRP could play a pivotal role. Think of the euro's creation in the 1990s. Countries adopted a unified currency to facilitate trade and stability. XRP could act as the digital counterpart, enabling real-time settlements, reducing friction and driving adoptions. So what investors need to know right now? So what does this mean for you? Timing is everything. In just 13 days, retirement accounts and institutions can participate via ETFs. Supply constraints will occur fast. Billions of XRP could be removed from circulation, creating upward price pressure. The macro picture is aligning. NASDAQ approval, multiple ETF filings, European digital currency adoption, all converging to create a historic moment. Remember, this is a long-term adoption story. Short-term movements may be dramatic, but institutional validation, regulatory clarity, and global unity position XRP for sustained relevance. So from a historical perspective, this helps a lot to look at this. In the internet boom in the 90s, institutional money flowed early into tech stocks. ETFs could do the same for XRP. Let's look at gold rushes. Limited supply plus higher demand drove massive gains. XRP may experience similar pressure. Euro adoption. Central banks leveraging blockchain for settlements could elevate XRP's relevance. History shows that positioning at the intersection of timing, regulation, and infrastructure matters more than speculation. So here are the key takeaways and critical milestones. November 13, 2025, XRP ETF launch on NASDAQ. Retirement accounts can participate. End of November 2025, ETFs live on New York Stock Exchange. 2026, European Digital Euro pilot. 2029, full rollout of digital euro. Institutional inflows, billions expected day one, creating supply shocks. Timing, participation, and understanding the macro content are essential. Here's the bottom lines, ladies and gentlemen. Wall Street has arrived. ETFs are launching. Institutional demand is massive. Supply shocks are imminent. Get ready. Global regulatory frameworks, including the digital euro, are starting to leverage blockchain infrastructure that XRP provides. For everyday investors, this is a once-in-a-lifetime alignment of technology, finance, and regulation. Will it be explosive? Potentially. Will it be sustained? Most likely. Remember, this is financial research and not financial advice. Always do your own research before making decisions. If you've enjoyed this content, smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. We'll continue breaking down every update on XRP ETFs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on another episode of the Crypto Republic. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you the truth about XRP, global banking moves, and the wealth transfer already unfolding. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay in the Republic.